Well, welcome back. We're back in the forest today. It was a beautiful morning this morning. Nice waking up with that view of the west coast there over the ocean. Now, there wasn't any images. There was some nice magenta and that in the sky, but not as nice as the night previous. It was really spectacular, the colours in the sky. So we've made our way back into Carmanah Provincial Park today. You remember at the start of my last video, it was really harsh and struggled for images. But today it's a lot more balanced, it's a lot more overcast, so it really is subdued light. So I'm going to see what we can come across. Now, we've came down this trail a couple of times since we've been coming into Carmanah, and was really attracted to this old growth tree that I've got in front of us. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to take you through a composition that I've found, because we did struggle the other day to come across anything. Now, I'm making use of the 14mm, a bit of an update, absolutely loving the lens and what I can do with it and what I can create, and that was the whole idea in purchasing this lens. So you'll be able to see how close I am to these small ferns in front of us here, and then what I'm going to do is, it's going to be like a letterbox, and I want to photograph the base of this tree, but I want to fill it with interest. We've got these ferns to the right hand side here, got the ferns in the very foreground, and then I've left a bit of a gap. We've got a fern to the left hand side just before the base of the tree. It's a lovely fern, and I've left a gap so your viewer's eye can go through to the base of the tree and actually see where the base of the tree begins. So that's what I'm going to go for. Some mosquitoes are everywhere, but it's a nice first image here in the forest, and I want to make sure that I get the shot in case the sun does burn some of that cloud off, but that's what I'm going for. So I'm actually going to focus stack this one. You'll see how close I am to these ferns. I'm going to take 2 shots, one on the ferns, one on the mid ground, and that's getting everything sharp that I want sharp. I'm going to do it in 2 shots. So I'll get this shot, put it on the screen above, and I hope you like it.
Right, you ready
Right,
to go?
yeah, it's me all set. We're going to go on to the next location.
What's all this? You got a bell, and you got bear spray. What, you're a bit paranoid, aren't you?
Did you see the size of them bears the other night?
Yeah, but they're not going to bother you.
We've seen one on the way in, one on the way out.
I think you're overdoing it a bit, mate.
Look, you loaned us the bear spray, I brought along my bell.
Yeah, but the bells are really annoying.
That's why the bears are going to run off.
Whatever.
Well, it's been some time since I last spoke to you, believe it or not. It's actually 3:30 in the afternoon. We've been dealing with really harsh conditions like we did yesterday. Now the day started off great. We had plenty of cloud cover that I was on about, and it was all looking promising, it really was. But the further we made it into the forest, it just started to change. The cloud thinned out and the winds picked up. So what we've basically done is we've continued on the trails through the forest, because you've still got to enjoy your day out, and we made our way to a river there. It's all dried out, and we had a look round there and rested, had something to eat. So what we're doing now is doubling back on ourselves and walking back this way. Now it's looking a lot more promising. You'll be able to see that the light keeps dipping now, the wind's dying down, so we're really hopeful that we'll get some images on our return journey. Now as we were coming down this part of the trail that you can see now, we've passed this grouping of trees that we're seeing on the way there. We looked at them, they looked nice, it looked busy from the trail side here, but there was actually a section where you could walk in. Now we've walked into that section, so we've got a different angle, a different look at these grouping of trees, and what can I say, it looks amazing, it really does. Now you'll be able to see that we've got a lot better light now. It's a lot more subdued because of that cloud that we're getting. The cloud's getting thicker and thicker, so that's great. That's going to help us out for further locations that we're going to look at further down the trail. But this is simply amazing, it really is. It's just such a large grouping of these huge trees. You've got the bigger ones in the foreground here, and then they're all staggered, and they go off right into the background as far as the eye can see. Now to my left hand side, just over my head there, you'll be able to see we've got this branch coming in, and it's got some lovely moss on, and when it catches that ambient light from the sky, it really fills in that meat ground and gives it some interest. And what I've managed to do is separate the trees as much as I can to create a lot more depth in the image. Now all we're waiting for is some of that light to be a bit more balanced. We do get a heavy breeze from time to time, but you can see now it does calm down, so it's allowing us to get the shot. Now I'm shooting this with the 14mm, and I'm quite close. Now you'll be able to see how much I've been able to include. I've been able to include every tree that you can see behind us, so that's quite amazing. So really enjoying this lens. We're going to continue having a look around this little area, see if we can get different looks, different compositions, and maybe another image. But I'll put this image on the screen above, and I hope you like it. So I tried that first shot. Now the idea of the first shot was really to show the expanse of all these trees and include as much as I can, and try and include as many trees as possible. So I hope you like that image. We're continuing to get longer periods with that cloud, so it's working out really well, and the wind does calm down from time to time. So what I'm going to do now is I want to try and create a little bit more depth and concentrate on a smaller area, utilising the main trees that I've got in front of us here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to use part of this tree to my right hand side. I'm just going to use part of it, and the tree to the left hand side that's opposite, I'm actually going to include all of that tree. So these main two trees to my left and right, the really big trees, now I want them at the start of the image, and I'm trying to create some nice area of depth in the centre, leading over to the 4 trees you can see in the background there. So really am concentrating on those 6 trees. Now what I also like is in the centre, in the foreground, in the middle of all these trees, you've got some, they look like lilies. I'm not sure, are they lilies?
Lily of the valley, I think.
Yeah. Adam's saying he thinks the lilies of the valley, so that's what I want to try and include as well. It's a nice carpet of green, leading your eye through the scene, and then it's going to fall on these individual trees. So that's a shot I'm going to go with. Just got to wait for this light. You can see how it's got bright again. It's as quick as that. So you've really just got to be patient, wait, and grab the shot. And that's what today's been about. It's been about patience, because we really have been fighting for images today and waiting for this weather to change. So I hope you enjoyed this image, and I'll put it on the screen above. So I've made our way from that location. What a great location, and what a great find it was. Now the weather's turned again. What a day it's been for the weather. It's been a true battle. It really has, trying to come up with images and work against the conditions that we're working against. But it's summertime now, so this is what you've got to deal with. Now I've came back to this area that we came yesterday morning to see if I could take another shot of these trees. But at the moment we've got the bright sunlight, we've got blue skies, and we've got the wind coming in again, because yesterday I wasn't overly happy with the image. It was okay, but it was a bit bright in the background because we didn't have that cloud to give us a helping hand. So we're going to wait it out here for maybe another 30 minutes, and what we might do is head back to the van, get something to eat, because me and Adam's actually been down here since 9 o'clock this morning. It's now 5 o'clock, so we've been out quite a while, but finding that location back there has really, it's really perked us up. But unfortunately the weather's turned against us again. So what we might do is actually come back really early in the morning. Tomorrow's my last day here on the islands, so before I head back, I think we're going to come back down here and see if we can get some better light and see what images we can make. Well guys, good morning. Back to the location where we left off yesterday. Today, you'll have seen earlier in the video there, it's a totally different day today. It's been raining throughout the morning, so it was quite a misty start. So me and Adam's packed up and made our way back to Carmanah Provincial Park. Now it's really nice this morning because we've got the rain. It's really vibrant, it really is. It's brought all the colours out in the greens and the mosses that you can see. Now the reason I'm standing here is I want to show you the scale and size of these amazing trees. They really are great, and it's a pleasure to wander around the trails here and have a look. Now the main area of interest is these huge trees either side of us, and you've got a lovely gap leading through the background. You've got some nice balanced light there, so it creates some depth in the image, and I'm trying to fill the rest of the image with as much interest as I can. We've got some trees to my right, some nice light coming in. You can see the ferns all around these trees, but you've also got these two big ferns in the foreground, so it's going to be a nice foreground against these two larger trees. Now the problem I was having, even though I haven't got that bright sunlight, that harsh light, I was still getting the odd little hot spot where the sky's creeping in, because I'm using this with the 14mm. So what I'm doing is I've elevated the camera up and tilted the lens slightly forward to discard some of that sky. Now the problem area was, if you see to my left hand side, there's a thin branch. Now the composition before that I had set up, there was a lot of white sky there and it was creating a hot spot. So what I've done is I've just altered position of the camera and placed that branch where I had them blowing out highlights, and that solved the issue. So always just look round and try and work out the puzzle, how you can hide things, hide distractions, hide bright light, you know, and get the shot. But it's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to get back to the camera and get this shot. Now I'm using ISO 160 f11, focusing directly on these trees. That's getting everything sharp that I want sharp, and I'm getting around about 0.6 of a second at the moment, but we'll just see as the weather changes. Now it's supposed to rain for best part of the day, but luckily because it's so dense in here, it's actually quite dry, so we're doing all right for the time being. And then I'll have a wander about, see if I can grab another image before we leave. So I'll put this image on the screen above and I hope you like it. Now this could be my last image of the day, I'm not sure. We are going to continue walking up this trail, but the bugs are pretty bad and it's supposed to get a lot heavier rain later on. But this is the shot and the composition that I want to go for. The main interest is obvious, it's that tree right behind us with all that lovely moss on. Now the reason it's standing out is because of that reflective light from the sky hitting the moss. And obviously it's really saturated with the rain that we're getting today. We've got this lovely huge tree framing the left hand side of the frame. We've got some of these lovely ferns, some foliage around the base, and then just to my right there's a grouping of trees here. They're slightly darker, so it really draws your eye into the centre where that light is. It's the light that's creating the depth, and it's the light that's making the subject really pop and really stand out. And a little bit further back you can make out another large tree, so it's somewhere for the viewer's eye to fall onto. So that's the shot I'm going to go for. Now I'm quite a bit away from the camera. I've got as far back with the long focal length. I'm using the Sony 100 to 400 GM. I'm at 100mm, so I'm really far back to get the composition and get it the way I want it, and I think it'll work out really well. I'm getting quite a long shutter speed, around about 2 seconds. F16, that's going to get everything sharp that I want sharp, and it just looks really nice. So that's what I want to photograph and that's what I want to capture before I decide to move on. Now the reason I'm not using the polarizer is because the greens are already saturated, already vibrant. Don't always be tempted to turn that polarizer, especially when you've had rainfall and you're in a forest where there's so much green, because it really will, you know, it doesn't look good to the human eye. So I'd rather just not use the polarizer for this shot and just capture it as it is. So I'm going to make my way all the way over to back to the camera, get this image, and I hope you like it.
Guys, it's been an absolute brilliant weekend.
That's my line.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Well, guys, it's been a brilliant weekend. Really enjoyed myself. Now it is time for this head back. Now my head is just full of lumps off these bumps, off the bumps, off these flies and mosquitoes.
His whole head is swollen.
So I decided to grab that last image. I've headed back up the trail where me and Adam came to yesterday, and it's an amazing location. Adam's took some more images, so don't forget to check Adam's channel out. It really is spectacular area. I'm kind of thinking when I've came, the light was maybe better yesterday, but it's still nice all the same. So I have decided to head back. We're going to head back up to the van. Adam's going to drop us off at the ferry. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video as usual. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Check out Adam's channel. Adam will have a couple of videos from here, and I'm sure we'll definitely be back. It's just been brilliant.
It has been very good.
So you enjoyed it? You got
Yes.
plenty of shots?
I think so, yeah, it's been good.
But it's been tricky.
It's been very challenging, but I enjoy the challenge.
Yeah. And I got to have a go with my new lens. How's that? And it's not Fuji. Right, guys, thanks for watching. See you again next time.
Cheerio.
Bye bye.